So now, please welcome the official, non-official, non-sponsor of the Savannah Bananas, but a big fan. Please welcome John Fletcher.
Well, welcome to 15 on Fridays with Fletch. We've got a special edition today because when I first interviewed Bob Tallman, we had so much great stuff to say that we had to put it into two pieces because we try to stay at 15 minutes. So, Bob, here we are for part two, and welcome again to 15 on Fridays with Fletch.
John Fletcher, let me tell you something. In the 78 years that I've been around, and my family's been in the ranching business, and we're in agriculture and the lending business, I don't think we could cover it in 2 hours, but you did pretty good in 30 minutes. Let's go again. We're in the Astrodome one time, and we went, because of NASA being right there close, we went live on the big screen with the astronauts in space. That has to be the most important thing that I've ever witnessed and got to be a part of. Said hello to the president, said hello to the astronauts. They all talked to us. And Boyd and I got to stand there and look up and go, "You've got to be kidding me. We did it." And it was a perfect connection, 800,000 miles away.
Wow. You know, you helped come up with the idea for 4-H and FFA kids to get scholarships with Ag Texas Farm Credit. It's given away over $200,000. It's called the Ag Youth of the Month program. Tell us about that.
Well, John, I'm going to give you the credit for that because you were the brains behind it, and you and I together as a team with Fletcher Communications made that happen through Ag Texas Farm Credit Services. This is a marvelous ag banking institution. When you and I started, they were just in a few counties, had a few out northwest and west Texas branches, and now they're 9 branches strong. They're a multi-billion-dollar backed, authentic ag bank. The Ag Youth of the Month program is it allows us to go into 4-H and FFA communities and select a child on academics, participation, communication, and their involvement through those different 4 or 5 segments to excel. And it's could be a boy, could be a girl, could be a kid from some little town of 200 people in Gale, Texas. It doesn't make any difference how they're selected because they're all selected on an even keel. That $200 is going to turn into $2 million. And I think we've got to give
Certainly Christy. Yeah.
And people like that. My banker in Stephenville with Ag Texas Farm Credit, Kevin Kennedy, who's now retired from that system. You have to understand that is a family-built bank still operating with families today. And as they grow, besides the patronage, it goes back to the borrowers, because when you borrow money from them in the world of agriculture, you become a partner and a family member. They do well, you get a check at the end of the month or at the end of the year. And when it comes to their kids, they push their kids a little bit harder. Farm life. Everybody says, "I don't live on a farm. We don't have any cattle. I've never seen a pig showed." It's not just about kids. You can do it in the field of music, communications, ag mechanics, and welding. There's kids that live in the city that belong to the Future Farmers of America and to the 4-H Foundation that just want to do home economics. And you can win in those categories. Poolville, Texas, population 80. One of my arborists and friends had 2 daughters, and they both received scholarships from that prior to going into their freshman year in college. John Thomas, his wife Kimberly, is a 2nd grade school teacher right up the road 4 miles in Poolville. Their daughters had a chance to go to college, financially saved the bacon of an everyday average family. And I think that $500 scholarship or a $5,000 scholarship is the beginning answer, not the final answer. And so I say thanks to Ag Texas Farm Credit Services, our 9 branches, all of the new people, Lene Williams, who's the most aggressive young woman in the world that's put it together. And you're going to start seeing social media and radio and television ads that you and I have been a part of forever, 20 plus years. You're going to start hearing them, seeing them, be a part of it. Get involved in agriculture. If your kids are not raised on a farm, get them involved in agriculture. And you can do that in junior years, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, right up through high school into college.
Well, we also want to, thank Tim McDonald and Christy Tucker for the vision that they had to help launch it from day one.
You think about the years that we spent with Tim, and his vision was a passion.
Yeah.
Everything that he could think of and what Christy would back it up with. Grant Wilson, when you think about what he does off in the crops world. I've still got the videos in my phone when you and I spent a week in Northwest, way out in the Panhandle.
Yep.
And watching harvest, watching planting. You see, it's a 4-cycle circle with 4 seasons in Texas of how you borrow money, what you do, how you invest into it, and how they reinvest in you. It's amazing. It's a big system in a small area, about 44, 45 counties, and that feeds the world in the state of Texas.
Well, and speaking of big dollars, tell us about the $4 million that you've raised for MD Anderson with their pediatric cancer program. I love the name of your golf tournament, Bob Tallman's Cowpasture Pool.
Well, the very first one we had was when I was a rancher in Baker City, Oregon. We actually went on to a golf course, which they never let us go back, on horses, and we had brooms and beach balls. And it's a little tough to get a beach ball in the hole where the flag goes on the golf course in the green. And after about two rounds, they said, no more riding the horses on the greens, just tearing them up. But we played with beach balls. It was a cold, rainy day in the fall of the year. And so we called it Cowpasture Pool. Then I moved to Texas. And so MD Anderson, for many, and I'll get around to the story, but Leroy Schaefer, who was the CEO and operating manager in the Astrodome, who was one of the engineers that designed NRG Stadium, had a son. Austin was his name. He was 22 years old. And MD Anderson extended his life about 4 years. So when Austin passed, he was cremated, and they buried, ready for this, it's under cement, so you can't go dig it up. We buried his ashes on the 50-yard line, right in the middle of the rodeo arena, where the Texans play football.
Wow.
And we play rodeo. Leroy Schaefer was, I want to give him the credit. There's a lady who runs the media there, and she has become my go-to lady, Paige Mudd in Houston. We have now sent over 400 patients into the MD Anderson service area, which is 30 square blocks in downtown Houston. It's a godsend to be able to do what we do, the money we've raised. We've raised about $4 million. We've been able to dedicate $3 million back to them. Every year it becomes a little bit bigger. The gas and oil industry has been good to us. Now the Texas Rangers are involved with us. And see, giving money to a hospital or a charity, there's very strict rules, federally, statewide, countywide, and your books have got to be squeaky clean. We run at about 94%. There's still going to be some money. You rent a golf course, you got to have this, you do that, you pay people, to create different services. And so there's a lot of charities that have failed in the 26 years this year that we've produced this golf tournament in October, November. And we're very proud to be able to say, God led us, he keeps us, and now he will guide us through the next 26 years. I hope, remember I told you, I'm going to live to be 100, then we'll figure out what we do with it. But it's set up financially to carry itself after I'm gone. Maybe that could be tonight, could be next year, could be 25 years from now. Charities are big and very important, but if they are faith-based on Jesus Christ, they will last through lifetimes.
Oh, absolutely. So tell us one final thing. In addition to rodeo, you're in the beef business. Tell us about 3T Beef.
Oh, my goodness. May I do just exactly that? Can I do that? Is it time to advertise? There it is right there, 3T Angus beef. My family has been in the cow business since 1903 in Denali, Nevada. It actually started where my great uncle came here in 1895. And people say, how do I get that stuff right there? Well, I teach people how to cook it, and not waste it. We have a ranch. We're very blessed to have this piece of ground. God owns it. We live here, the 3T Angus Ranch in Poolville, Texas. You can go to our Facebook and find us where it says Bob Tallman's Reserve Angus Beef, but it's 3T Angus. One of the things today in the world is we have a horrible system of import and export. It changes with every regime. Mr. Trump has done a very good job to try to keep it in a better light where it is, where the import is very well guarded, USDA inspected. That's the United States Department of Agriculture. And we do about 60 calves a year. That's 50,000 pounds of beef, box beef. And when you buy it, you get online, you send an email. My daughter or Jojo Hollabaugh will pick it up on that Facebook. I call you, you get to order it. Then you get to fill out your own cut sheet. The most state-of-the-art plant in the world for processing beef is right south of me, about 45 minutes at the Santo exit on I-20 and 281, American Butcher. What do we do with our beef that's different than a lot of people? First, I know where the genetics come from. And genetics is very important when you're raising beef. People want to see something that looks better than what you find in the grocery store. Dang sure's got to be cheaper. We're family oriented. You can buy a quarter of beef, which is about 200 pounds, a half a beef, about 400, a full beef, and split it up in the neighborhood any way that you want. We butcher about 8 times a year throughout the 12 months, and we do it in December as well, November, December, January, February. And in the spring, we have to change our program because the grass has changed. We have to be holistic in the grasses we use and holistic in the fertilizers we use to enhance the soil, to raise better grass for the cows to eat, to make the milk for the babies they're raising. And then when we wean, our feed is all holistic. So people say, I can't eat beef. I've got allergies. You can eat this beef. You can buy this beef year round. What do you want in beef? Everybody thinks the biggest steak in the world at the truck stop in Amarillo is the way you eat beef. No, it's not how thick your steak is. You can get ribs or tablitas. You can get steak. You can get roast. We have fajita meat and or hamburger. And I profess to people 90-10 blend. No grease, good beef. Put it in your mouth. Your stomach's going to like it, and feed it to your family. Oh, by the way, if you've got leftovers, don't throw them away. We're the biggest wasteful country in the world with leftover food. Put it in the fridge. It'll make something tomorrow.
Absolutely. Well, Bob, this has been incredible. Thank you for being my guest on 15 on Fridays with Fletch. And folks, look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, John, for being my leader in faith and in the communications world for the last 25 years.